Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And we'll begin with the items for closed session. As provided by law, the following items for discussion and consideration of the closed session of the board meeting. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And the first item is A3.1, Public Employee Employment Discipline, Dismissal, Release, Reassignment of Employees, Government Code Section 54957. A3.2, Student Expulsion, Reinstatement, Expulsion, Enrollments. A3.3, Conference with Labor Negotiators, Agency Designated Representatives, Dr. Cuauhtemoc Avila, Superintendent, Dr. Rhea MacGyver Gibbs, Lead Personnel Agent, Personnel Services, and Mrs. Rhonda Kramer, Lead Personnel Agent, Personnel Services. Employee Organizations for California School Employees Association, Chapter 203, Rialto Education Association, and Communication Workers of America. Item A 3.4, pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D2 and/or D3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation, number of potential claims is 1. Item A 3.5, conference with labor negotiator, Government Code Section 54957.6, designated representative, board president Edgar Montes, unrepresented employee Dr. Cuauhtemoc Avila. Vote by board members to go into closed session.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Myself, aye. The time is 6:02. All right.
D, testing.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn closed session?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The time is 7:09. And we go to item A5, open session reconvene. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, but before that, tonight we have a special presentation from Rialto Middle School. But first, let's have Rialto Middle School 7th grade ASB President Nevea Reyes lead us in the pledge.
Good evening. Please stand for the put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let's give Nevea a round of applause. Well done. Now we will have Nevea introduce her fellow 7th grade student, author Jada Booten, and then also hear from Jada. So take it away, Nevea.
Good evening, School Board President Mr. Montes, School Board members, Superintendent Dr. Avila, audience and viewing audience at home. I'm Nevea Reyes, proud president of ASB Student Leadership at Rialto Middle School. I'm here today to introduce an inspirational member of ASB and Rialto Middle School with many more successful efforts to come in the future, Jada Booten.
Good evening, School Board President Mr. Montes, School Board members, Superintendent Dr. Avila, audience and viewing audience at home. I'm Jada Booten, and I attend Rialto Middle School. 3 months ago, I published a book which led me here. My book is called The Wings of Fallen Prey and can be found on Amazon for purchasing. My book is about 3 teens coming of age, 2 of which are interested in pursuing sociology. I myself am interested in becoming a psychologist, and I wanted that to show in my writing. Each teen goes through problems throughout the entire novel that in the end turns out to be what brings them together. My inspiration came from a friend who really means a lot to me. She's so important, I dedicated my novel to her, and one of my characters takes her middle name. I would also like to acknowledge my mother, who told me anything I wanted to do could be done. Then my father. Without him, I never would have had a real copy in my hands. I also had the help from many teachers at my school, supporting me while my book was in progress. I'm grateful to acknowledge Ms. Santiago, Mr. M. Douglas, Mr. W. Douglas, and Ms. Cooper for always telling me just how great I could be. Thank you for this opportunity to shed light on my book and gain experience. I look forward to psychology as a career and more experiences that I'll have on my journey becoming a successful young woman. I believe that each one of you should get a copy of my book tonight. Thank you.
Oh.
And we really want to thank Jada and also Nevea. As we are all aware, literacy and numeracy is promoted in our district. So this is just another example of how our district students are thriving in reading, and their love for writing is demonstrated right here. The Board of Education and the Superintendent, Dr. Avila, wish you great luck in your publishing endeavors, and thank you for the books. Thank you to the administration team and the parents for being here to support our talented Tigers. Now, can we get a picture with the board and the books?
And by the way, the books are signed.
These cords back here are gonna kill me. I've almost tripped 4 times today.
Jada and Nevea, you want to hold the books? Just hold mine. Okay. And then come on closer. Please. Everybody got their books? Thank you. Is Mom here? Mom got it? No, please. Please. Why not? I'll get it to you. Smile. If you can look at Miss Ortiz right there. Look at the awesome director. Did you get it? The SU director? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
wrote a book. This is awesome. Oh, really? Oh, my God.
I remember another student writing a book, an elementary student.
From TRAP. This was last year.
That's awesome. I mean, our students are writing books.
It's awesome.
All right. Okay. Next, we go to presentation by Rialto Middle School. Oh, that was, all right, my bad. Report out of closed session.
We have none.
Adoption of the agenda.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All right, we do have a item that staff is requesting to be pulled from business and financial consent. It's item E 3.25, an agreement with various vendors for the district's Alianza Latina Festival Latino event. So could we modify the motion to approve the agenda
As amended.
as amended, pulling item E 3.25?
So move.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we go to presentations B1, 2020, 2021, and 2021, 2022 Citizens Bond Oversight Committee Annual Report, Measure Y. And that presentation will be done by Mrs. Michelle Sanchez, Committee Chair. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm not usually up here to do presentations like this, but I'm going to do my best tonight to let you know what's going on with the bond. The one that was approved in 2010. Oh, there's the clicker she was telling me about. So that's the front cover. That's the new cafeteria multipurpose room at Myler that was completed a year or so ago. And the mission statement, I'm not going to read this whole report because I know you guys already have a copy of the report in front of you, but just for the audience, so you know that the mission of the Rialto Unified School District is to provide the bridge that connects students to their aspirations for the future. It's to ensure each student achieves personal and career fulfillment within a global society through a virtual system distinguished by the high expectations for student achievement, safe and engaging learning environments, effective family and community involvement, learning opportunities beyond the traditional school setting, and an appreciation of universal diversity. So the Oversight Committee was established right after the bond was passed. I wasn't serving at that time, but since I've retired, I can now serve on the Oversight Committee, so here I am again. There's a list of our members on that on page 2 it is, and I want to just take a moment to let you all know Mr. Leroy Parker passed a couple of months ago, so we have a position open on the Oversight Committee, and we just want to acknowledge his service not only to his community but to his country as well. He was a really very active community member, and we're going to miss him. So if anybody knows of someone who might like to serve, get a hold of Diane Romo, please. And the background, the bond was approved in November 2nd, 2010, and they approved the measure-wide general obligation bond for $98 million to finance school facility construction, repair, and improvement projects. And there was a provision that none of the funds would be used for administrators. And the bonds were sold through 4 different series. Series D was the last one that was sold. And all that money is encumbered for projects that were in the works that we needed that money to complete those projects. Do you guys have any questions so far?
Yes, Michelle, is this on a PowerPoint for the audience?
Sure.
that's
Yeah.
streaming?
You know what? That's what I'm supposed to do with this clicker. Whoops, wait a minute. Why did it go to the end?
You went-
Too many clicks?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty sensitive clicker. Definitely not like my remote at home. Okay, so there's the statement. And the next page has the background on it. Let me click over to that. Okay, there it is. Thank you. So there's a summary of the expenditures report. Next page, there we go. And everything I said is encumbered. So once those projects get finished and paid for, all the money's gone. So, and I know the district's working on trying to get another bond. So we'll talk about that when it becomes a reality, right, Diane? Okay. So do you guys have any question about the expenditures? Everything that's being expended was in the projections when the bond was approved. The latest project, I'm not going to go to the latest project, but this is a summary of the expenditure report on the next page. Any questions?
Thank you for your oversight.
You're
For the-
welcome.
For the public, could you read Series C projects?
Series C projects.
It's on this page.
That,
Starts about halfway down.
Series D or Series C?
Well, probably both, because the public wants to know where their money went.
Okay, sure. So let me back it up a page.
Page 4 was Series C.
Yeah, let me back, there's Series C right there. So Series C was the Carter High School shade structures, HVAC power upgrades, bond disclosures and advertisements. That was a very minuscule amount. Signage for the projects, the marquees at the various schools, the Myler Kitchen project, which is finished. And that's for Series C. Let me click that over to Series D. There was cost for of course, taking out the bonds and the underwriting of the money. And the marquees, the finish up of the marquees, they made them taller, if I remember correctly, Diane, right? They're making them taller. Eisenhower, the 2-story classroom building. Then there's disclosures and advertisements and encumbrances to date and the total obligations. Most of this money is going to be used at Eisenhower for that 2-story building that's going to have some special rooms with other things in them that they need. There's going to be a nursing center, correct? And regular classrooms as well. Yes. Yes? Is that it? Okay. So, any more questions on that?
And just so the public knows, there was previous series projects that were done
Oh, yeah.
before this.
A and B before that, yes. So this is just some of the things that have been done. And these are already projects that are completed. Let's see. And then Eisenhower, that's the fields. I think they did all the fields, didn't they, Diane? At one point in time, they redid all of the sports fields at all of the high schools. So in the theater at Eisenhower, of course. And then the elementary playgrounds. And some science, there were several science labs at high schools. And did we do any at middle schools? We did middle schools as well. And let's get on to this last one here. This has the renderings from the designer about the project at Eisenhower, the 2-story buildings. And it's going to be, that one right there at the top is going to be facing the street, facing
Wow.
Lilac. Yes?
Wow.
The parking lot.
That one's going to be facing the parking lot? Okay. And then they, better look at this with my up close here. Okay, the down in the corner is going to be the one facing the street, I think.
Yes.
Yep, okay. So any questions so far? Frequently asked questions? The general bond is an obligation bond that the community pays for, and they have to establish an oversight committee to make sure the funds are expended the way they were stated on the bond. And the oversight committee makes sure that the school district does that. Do they review each expenditure? We don't review each expenditure. We review projects, and then we get a itemized report of the expenditures. So we do look over probably every expenditure at one point in time or another. And do we review actual projects? Yes, we do. We get to go out and look at the projects and see what they're looking like and just make sure that everything's staying on track as much as we can with who is it that approves everything at the state?
DSA.
DSA, that's it. And do the bond proceeds pay for salaries in the facility service area? No, they do not. They can be used for that legally, but we here in Rialto, we haven't used those funds to pay administrators with your bond money because the updating of all the buildings was way more important. So, any other questions for Diane? No? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great job.
Oh, I'm gonna leave this here. I don't want to walk out with it.
All right. Next, we go to item B2, and it's a presentation on highlights from nutrition services by Fawcett Rahman Davies, lead nutrition services agent. Are you going to need this thing right here?
Yes.
All right. No problem. Should have known. Welcome, everybody.
Good evening, members of the board, board president, Mr. Montes, Superintendent Dr. Avila, innovation, and our audience. I am Fawcett Rahman Davis, lead child nutrition services agent. I am here this evening with my team to provide our service area highlight. At one of our district leadership meetings about 3 years ago, our Superintendent Dr. Avila inspire us to focus on kindness and starting a community project that will be beneficial to every member of our community. We took the agency to identify and actively design a nutrition program that with equity in mind. We recognize that when you plan to meet the needs of the most historically underserved member in our community, everybody benefits. We're able to act on our shared Rialto belief that there is a boundless power in all of us and that everyone can contribute to the good of the community. Nutrition services, staff, and those we collaborate with work every day to live this Rialto kindness promise. Tonight, you will hear from a few members of my teams how they work as they've done to go above and beyond to bring this project into fruition. Just a little glance about program details. I'm going to mention most especially that we have 25 sites breakfast in the classroom. Right now we have 17 elementary school sites with fresh fruit and vegetable program. This is USDA grant funded, and this can only be this is only available in elementary schools. So out of 19 elementary schools, we have 17 fund granted program. So this is great for Rialto. 2 years ago, during the pandemic.
Ms. Rahman, please talk into the microphone for the public.
2 years ago, during the pandemic, we had a new program added to our breakfast lunch, and it's called supper. And then 2018 and 19, there was a section of CEP. Right now, every single day, we're serving 30,000 meals. Annually, 6.1 million meals served annually. That's really a big number.
Hello, I'm Maria Rangel. I'm the assistant agent for Rialto Child Nutrition. And I'm here to give you a little bit of highlight of what community eligibility provision is, known as CEP. I'm just going to give you a little history of how it came about that we introduced CEP into Rialto Unified. USA required that any school with a direct certification of 40% or more would have to apply for CEP. Fawcett attended a meeting here at the district office and went back to my office and said, Maria, the head of our corporation, Dr. Avila, wants us to do district-wide CEP. I was very happy to hear that and told her, Yes, good. We have a year to get all this prepared. She turned around and said, no, Maria, we have 3 months. We have 3 months. We got to start at the beginning of the school year. We got, all our team got together, and we did it. We got introduced CEP by the beginning of the school year. All our scholars began the school year with had access of free meals at no charge. That was a wonderful thing we did. The universal meals, everybody says, Maria, if we have universal meals here in California, why CEP? Yes, universal meals are only for 1 year, this year. We still have to provide, the households has to provide us with meal applications. We have to collect, and they have to fill them out. With the 2-year pandemic, to collect meal application would have been the hardest thing. Where with CEP, it's federal funded, and we are locked for 4 years. Wow. And all this meal, and no meal applications are needed. What are the greatest benefits on becoming CEP? It allows our scholars to receive 2 nutritious meals, breakfast and lunch, and no charge. It eliminates the burden of collecting household meal application, which makes it easier on the households. Parents are no longer worried about having unpaid balances. Parents have mentioned to us that in some cases they have saved up to $1,000 in paying for meals. Wow. All enrolled Rialto USD scholars were eligible to receive a PEBT card during the pandemic. And the most important thing, and the most important benefit is that there's no shaming or stigma. Our scholars have an equal playing field and have access to meals at no charge.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Aguilar, and I'm a Nutrition Services Field Supervisor. When the pandemic shut us all down, we didn't have a plan. Everyone was scared and felt lost in how we were going to serve and support our scholars. Academic growth from afar was our main focus. Meal service was now a community feeding program, and we took our best service curbside, put on barbecue events, try to make them fun, during a time when things were so stressful, just for that moment in time to give our families that ease and our students. Rialto Unified provided 14.7 million meals at no cost for all children 1 to 18 years old. During this time, 2.1 million pounds of USDA farmer-to-family boxes were provided and passed out over a year span to our families here in Rialto. These boxes consisted of produce, milk, meat, cheese, bread, pasta, and many other shelf-stable items. These are the items our families were consistently asking for, and we all too well know that these were the problems at the time. We couldn't find them. I mean, toilet paper, sorry, we couldn't find that either. Couldn't be found in the grocery stores at that time. This all came at no cost to our families and our district.
Yes.
This was a separate program we had applied for, and not all districts chose to utilize it. These were not easy items to get our hands on. We had numerous calls from families reaching out for much assistance. As we could provide, we made this our priority and our mission to do for all that we could and utilize any resources that we could gain access to and assist our scholars and their families and local communities. We had amazing collaborations with our transportation and safety services teams. Shout out to you guys, you're amazing. As well as fellow district and community partners and our employees, thank you for being here, you guys. That allowed for us to make this all possible and carried out safely. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Christina Krauser. I'm Program Innovator for Child Nutrition. For nearly 20 years, Rialto has participated in the Breakfast in the Classroom program, BIC for short, creating an environment that not only helps support our scholars' education throughout the day, but supported their emotional well-being. Just prior to the pandemic, Eisenhower High School became the first high school in the Inland Empire to launch this program. The success at Eisenhower was soon followed by Rialto High School. Breakfast participation increased by nearly 80% at sites that were serving breakfast in the classroom, and teachers reporting to us that they were getting to learn more about their students and they felt more connected to them. The Breakfast in the Classroom program was able to shine a light on our invisible students. When the school year began this year, Carter, Myler, Casera, and Rialto Middle School joined the Breakfast in the Classroom program. What you're looking at here on the screen, this is the first week data from that program. If we were to look at the first line, just looking at Carter High School, the first column is actually their enrollment. The colored squares are the amounts that they served. So you'll see where on the first day of school, Carter High School served 1,625 students a meal in the classroom. That is a drastic difference from last year where they served 164. And the numbers located right below the colored squares is what they served the same time frame last year on a regular breakfast program. So it's a huge success providing access to our students. Rialto offers various ways for our scholars to expand their knowledge beyond the classroom setting. Our School Nutrition Advisory Council, or SNAC for short, is beginning to form now. These students that range from 4th grade through high school will join us at our local nutrition conference. They will learn about our school meal regulations, sample a variety of foods, and have input on our future menus. Rialto's partnership with Old Grove Farms will be expanding this year as well. Old Grove has received a USDA grant that will cover the cost for 500 of our scholars to have a study trip directly to the farm. Our heavily regulated program provides locally sourced produce both from the local farms and our favorite, from our own student gardens. Meals prepared daily are prepared daily fresh in our kitchens at middle schools, high schools, and at our central kitchen. And all menus are student approved.
Good evening. My name is Mike Devlin. I'm the Nutrition Service Warehouse Supervisor. In order to fulfill the district strategy number 6, bridging school and community learning opportunities, we launched the Keystone Cafe Food Pantry. The Keystone Pantry creates access to food for all of our families. It's a collaboration with Educational Services with Dr. D'Souza and Juanita Chan. We work with high school and middle school scholars to pack donated food into boxes for our families. These scholars also assist in the monthly drive-through distributions. This gives them the opportunity to earn the seal of civic engagement by combating a community crisis. This is possible through our partnership with Feeding America and local community businesses. Thank you. Rialto is active in the California School Nutrition Association and has become the model for other nutrition programs. Because of Rialto's success, the California Department of Education invited us to have a platform on the Legislative Action Committee at both the state and national level to advocate for these programs. We don't just serve food, we make policy change. These policies help nutrition programs operate without encroaching on school district general funds. This has been possible by building relationships with all levels of state and national offices. Rialto was able to co-chair with the first partner, Jennifer Newsom, to create a roadmap for farm to school in California, which enables our scholars to receive more fresh, healthy, local produce. Rialto collaborated with the Child Access Institute and strategized with the California Department of Education and No Kid Hungry to improve food access for all children. Rialto's model of the summer feeding program and the breakfast in class program is now being emulated throughout the state and the country. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Monica Zamora. I'm the Central Kitchen Supervisor. We recently introduced our mascot, the bee. Why a bee, you may ask? Well, we rely on the bee each day to nurture our earth by pollinating our food crops. Sorry about that. Without the busy bees, we would not have the nutritious food we need to survive and grow. So just like the bees, nutrition services is essential to the growth of our students. Always busy and providing our students with nutritious foods to help them achieve personal growth and become successful not only in the classroom, but also in the community. And I have something to hand out to the board if you can. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Juan Sedano, and I'm one of the field supervisors here at Child Nutrition. I'm going to talk about what we expect can come from nutrition. First, we want to change the stereotype or the stigma that comes to coming to the cafeteria. That will come by changing all our disposable trays and utensils into regular ware. Yeah. That will give our students a more dining experience versus a cafeteria experience. We also would like to install HE or high efficiency dishwashers, which will also help us reach our goal of having zero waste kitchens. We also want to expand our work opportunities for our students of all abilities. We currently have students from Myler that are part of a workability program that come to our central kitchen on a daily basis. We already expanded on this past summer by employing some of those students during our summer feeding program.
Great.
Lastly, we would like to update all our kitchens because with all the programs that we are doing and growing, we've simply outgrown our current kitchens. And it's time for an update. Thank you for your time.
I hope tonight's presentation highlighted how nutrition services are shown agency to create structures to ensure resources are allocated and developed to directly support the scholars and families of Rialto. Maslow's theory has long argued that motivation increases as the needs are met. Nutrition services play an important role in allowing students to concentrate on their learning and developing numeracy, literacy, and future-ready skills. Nutrition services is very proud to be teamed with business services, education services to improve overall well-being of our students who will remain our top priority. We thank Board President Mr. Monte, Vice President Mrs. Lewis, Board Clerk Mrs. O'Kelly, Member Ms. Dina Walker, and Mr. Martinez. And also our Superintendent Dr. Avila for the opportunity to really highlight how Rialto USD has provided nutrition services the chance to change the legacy of health and wellness and continue to bridge the cafeteria to the classroom and making positive impact in our community. Also, I would like to thank my boss, Diane Romo, actually the principal, the support staff, everybody right here in Rialto for their continued support of this program. Most especially, I would like to also thank the students and some of my employees. They're right here. They walked through the pandemic. Really appreciate you, and we love you.
We can hear.
And thank you for all you do. We're so proud. It's really been an honor and privilege to serve our Rialto scholars and to serve our family. Really, yeah, we're public servant, so we do with joy in our heart. We would not do anything else. I have a great team. I'm very grateful. I'm in state of grace. Thank you so much. Question. Questions, please.
What kind of support can we give you? I understand. It's an inside joke. Okay. Thank you, Top Ramen and the noodles.
I have a question. Can you just highlight, I was looking here at the student franchise training cafe?
Yes. Yes. What we're trying to do is actually have our students, we're going to start from pilot middle school and high school, having our students have a store of their own whereby they can have like a small business. So we're going to partnership with them and see how we can help them. They can generate some income, some kind of money, so they don't have to depend on too much fundraising. So teaching them about business, basically, that's what we're trying to do.
Great, great.
Any other questions?
I just want to thank Juan back there, Cevada? Sedano. Juan Sedano, because every time you guys have a barbecue, he's the man behind the grill. He's flipping burgers, he's roasting corn, and and even one of the barbecues there at Frisbee, it was hot, man, it was hot, and he was like a warrior right there with on the grill, So thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Juan. Thank you guys. Thank you again. Thank you for the presentation. Any other questions or comments? No? Thank you. One more round of, oh wait, before you leave, let's take a picture with the board and our student board member. Get back over here. Let's take a picture. If you can take pictures with members of Congress, you can take pictures with us.
Are we able to can we get our employees?
Sarah, all I know is that I was reading my nutrition services. Come on, nutrition services. Come on, nutrition services. A little bit closer. I'm not closer. Come on. You guys made that all made. Are they all here? Okay.
Thank you anyway. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Okay, count of three. Look at ready. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you to nutrition leadership and to all nutrition services workers. We appreciate and value each and every one of you for everything that you guys do. All right. Now we go to item B3, key to the district, and that will be a presentation by Ms. Nancy O'Kelly to Mr. Derek Harris, lead risk management and transportation agent.
Derek, would you like to come up here?
Yes,
With your lovely wife? And I assume this is 2 of your 5 children, right?
Yes. Well, there's 3 here. Oh, 4.
Oh, we go.
You're multiplying.
Any of his kids, just come on up.
We'll get him for the picture right now. We'll get him for the picture now, yeah. We got some talking to do. Take it away, Miss O'Callaghan. We'll bring them up for the picture.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Derek Harris, who is currently the lead risk management and transportation agent for our district, will be receiving my key to the district tonight. Mr. Harris joined the winning team of the Rialto Unified School District in July of 2013. After serving in the San Bernardino City Unified School District for 14 years in various capacities, excuse me, including mandated cost specialist, payroll and accounting supervisor, and workers' comp and payroll and employee benefits director, to name just a few. Beginning his career in RUSD 9 years ago, does she want to come up?
Oh, they were seeming to come after. Oh, you mean the little one? It's hard to say. I'll have to check with her agent.
Beginning his career in RUSD 9 years ago as the Director of Risk Management, Derek immediately took on the challenge of placing Rialto in a better bargaining position with its health carriers to ensure health benefits could remain a free option for employees. Shortly thereafter, he was given the opportunity to work with the district's transportation services area as the Senior Director of Risk Management and Transportation. As the lead risk management and transportation agent for the district's risk management service area, his responsibilities also include employee health and welfare. He also serves on the district's negotiations team. In other words, he's a busy boy. Of his many accomplishments, to me, during the leadership recently provided during the COVID-19 pandemic stands out. In March of 2020, the world suffered a devastating health crisis with the COVID-19 pandemic, which caused the closure of schools for the remainder of the 1920 school year and the entire 2021 school year. Mr. Harris took a lead in guiding the district through the complex and somewhat challenging COVID rules, health orders, and guidelines provided by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the California Department of Public Health, CDPH. Mr. Harris and his team created usable guidelines which helped keep district students and staff safe, especially in the 21-22 school year when all schools were reopened. Our district was able to keep all of our schools open and we avoided mass outbreaks. We were also able to resume sports for our student athletes. If that wasn't enough, in the midst of the pandemic in August of 2020, the district also suffered a major cyber incident. Through meticulous direction and support from Superintendent Dr. Avila, Mr. Harris, and various staff working closely with the district's technology services, they were able to secure forensic resources which kept our information safe. Mr. Harris attributes his success to being grounded in the Word of God through his beautiful wife, Aliana, whom he has been married to for 24 years, and his 5 children. He also credits his amazing staff in risk management and employee benefits who handle workers' compensation, litigation, and the district's health plans. Also, and equally amazing, he credits his transportation team who transport more than 3,000 students twice a day. Mr. Harris is an active member in his community and church who enjoys assisting the community with food giveaways and family meal preparations. He's a member of the Ritz Gala Committee and debuted his dancing chops through a rendition of a song by the Temptations. Mr. Harris also loves going to movies and to concerts to hear real music by real musicians. Mr. Harris said, I have found that maintaining a sense of humor goes a long way in helping with the long days. Yes, I think it's a job requirement. Each year, we are tasked with the wonderful opportunity to highlight one deserving individual who has encompassed the district's body, soul, and spirit traits through the Foundation for Excellence mantra. Each Board of Education member is given one key per year, and this year, the key to the district's annual recipients must display education excellence through knowledge, commitment, and compassion shown to students and families and staff of the Rialto Unified School District, something Mr. Harris definitely excels at. Tonight, September 21st, 2022, my key to the district will be awarded to you, Mr. Harris. Thank you, Derek, for all that you did, for all that you do, and for all that you will continue to do. And the plaque says, 2022 RUSD Key to the District presented to Derek Harris, Lead Risk Management and Transportation Agent, Excellence in Education, presented by Nancy G. O'Kelly, Clerk, Board of Education, on Wednesday, September 21st.
And I think everybody's heard that at home because you're really loud, Ms. O'Kelly. So thank you.
Or maybe the microphone's turned way
No,
up.
you're good.
Okay.
Is it time for us to go up?
Yes.
Okay.
A few words from Derek.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, first.
Okay. Let's.
Just a few. Hear ye, hear ye. I'm just kidding. First, I'd like to thank God. Without him, I can't do anything. I'd also like to thank this amazing Board of Education. You guys have been awesome through the years. I know Ms. Walker isn't here tonight, but we kind of grew up together in two different districts, in San Bernardino and then right here in Rialto. But she followed me. I got here first. So we argue about that. I'd also like to acknowledge Mr. Martinez. You know, we share health secrets, and then we also share a love of music. So I really appreciate you, sir. I'm getting to you, Boogie O'Kelly. I'd also like to acknowledge Board Vice President Ms. Lewis. She was so helpful and supportive during the pandemic with all of the vaccination clinics, and I really appreciate her support. We once ran out of vaccines, and the county tried to shut us down, and she said, oh, no, let's get our cell phones out. We're going to get more vaccinations and bring it to this community. And you also picked the location for our most successful vaccination clinic today. And I also want to thank you for the Grammy Museum. So we still have that, too. So I appreciate that. I want to thank Mr. Montez. Since I got in the district, Mr. Montez was just a warrior and just fighting for those things which he felt in his heart was right. And I wrote down that we fought the good fight and we're still fighting that good fight. So you just keep going and I'm going to go on with you. I'd really like to thank Mrs. Nancy G. Get Down and Boogie O'Kelly. When I first came to the district, I was so shocked and surprised that I had actually asked her to dance at one of our functions, and I thought like, well, I'm going to take it easy on her, you know? And next thing I know, I looked away, I turned around, and she was gone to town. And I said, Miss O'Kelly, you can do it. She said, this girl's got moves. So I really appreciate you. And we also share an extreme love for all things lemon flavored, lemon cookies, cakes, bread. Anything that you have that has lemon flavor in it, we're with it. I want to thank our superintendent and none other than Dr. Avila. Since he's been with the district, he's just continued to show a great level of wisdom. We're the same age, but I'm still chasing you, sir, when it comes to wisdom, and I will catch you. But I want to thank you tonight for agency. Let's give him a hand. I want to thank you for agency. It allowed us to make decisions in the best interest of students. It allowed us to shake off the shackles of the past and not let it dictate our future. And so I appreciate that in you. I would also like to thank our business leadership team, starting with our leader, Ms. Diane Romo. And then I want to acknowledge all of the leaders in business services. There just simply is no finer group that I've had a chance to work with, and I appreciate all of their hard work that they do day in and day out. And I'm getting down to it before they start playing me off with the music. I would like to thank my leadership team with Ms. Dora Parham, who's running transportation and garage, Ms. Laura Lewis over there, our transportation supervisor. I'd also like to thank Rhonda Massaro, almost said Kramer, Rhonda Massaro, who is our risk compliance officer. And I'd like to thank some of my team that are here tonight, Ms. Gloria, my secretary, Violetta, classified employee of the year. I'd like to thank Angie and Mr. Siegfried, our 40-plus bus drivers who show up each and every day and take care of our students. Our 6 mechanics that keep our buses running safely. I'd like to thank the transportation clerical staff. And then I'd also like to mention, as a shameless plug, that National School Bus Safety Week is coming up October 17th, and a resolution is coming your way real soon. Lastly, I would like to thank my beautiful wife, who's been mentioned. Now it's time for you to come on out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the future Miss Dr. Arrington Harris. She puts up with my long hours and my long days and my Saturdays that I have to come in and support district programs, and so that's a jewel, and I appreciate you. And then my beautiful children that are here, and my 3 grandchildren that are here. I got 2 more that aren't, 1 child that's not, but my daughter, Angenique, my little ones here, my son, Joshua, and my other son, Keith, back there, and my staff that is here tonight. And I'd also like to thank Innovation Team, because this small group of individuals, we get in there. We don't always agree. We don't always get along. But when we leave there, we have mutual agreement, and we make it happen for the district. So thank you, and thank you.
Come on up, Ms. O'Kelly, Ms. Lewis, and Mr. Martinez.
Yeah.
Can you invite your son and your daughter and the family? Come on up, family. Come on up. Your sons as well, everyone.
What about my team?
Can we have, yes, we're gonna get one, yeah.
Diane.
We're gonna get this, like you said, the team. Get one with them, and then we're gonna get one with the whole team.
Get in there, Joe. I'm finding a good spot.
There's
Yeah, one more for a photo.
Yes. Yay. Let's go on this side real quick.
I prefer pretty to handsome.
There we go. That's okay. If you can look at. Can you wave? Big smile. Okay, look over here and smile. I'll give you a cookie. Look over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Are they lemon cookies? So Kelly, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that was with family. You want with team?
And then can we have yes?
Now we'll switch family with the team.
Get 2. Are we doing it?
Guys, get a little bit closer. Get a closer. Now it's time. Get a little bit closer. You guys, this is a lot. Right over here. Big smile.
Just a sec, just a sec.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
All right.
It's a true honor to get that.
Oh,
I love you.
Let's give another round of applause to Mr. Derek Harris. That was awesome. All right. Next, we go to comments. That's item C1. Public comments not on the agenda. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We have Paula Bailey.
Good evening, Board President, board members, cabinet, and viewing audience. My name is Paula Bailey, and I'm also one that has to plead guilty to contributing the cookie distributor of the lemon cookies.
I think that's where it all started, Paula.
I plead guilty to being a Girl Scout mom. But it's done amazing things for my daughter. The real reason I came here tonight is, first of all, as you know, I like to start out with things that are positive. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Avila. I had sent him an email last Thursday about a concern. And Friday morning, I got a phone call, and he arranged to meet with me on Friday, and we're working on a plan moving forward to address those concerns. I really appreciate that. I know we're all crazy busy and stuff happening, but when somebody responds as quickly as you did, it's greatly appreciated because you don't feel like you're forgotten. And it was important issues. I also wanted to say it was an awesome opportunity when we had a meet and greet with the new special ed director. I think that went really well, and I appreciate the opportunity that we had to do that. Everybody was there, and it was just awesome. Yes, I am one of many to come Measure A supporters, parents. I am and previously was the chair of the Measure Y oversight committee. I'm still on the committee, but I've seen wonderful things that have been done with those funds, and I really feel that it's going to benefit everybody out there, our students, our families, and if you don't have kiddos, your property value will go up because kids want to come here when they have great looking schools and a great opportunity. Last but not least, it's not completely negative, but I've heard, there's concerns about enough staff because everybody is out there searching for people. And I did a little bit of homework in looking in different areas and what the pay is from our district to some other districts. And there is a significant difference. And I'm hopeful that this district can, work on that issue because it's real. And if somebody offered me $4 more an hour to go to another district, especially if they're not super far, we all got to pay our bills, right? So I'm looking forward to, that hopefully changing so that we can have the staff that we need to benefit the kids, the families, the community, and all. Looks like I'm out of time. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Evelyn Dominguez.
Hi, good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Avila, our innovation team, and our viewing audience. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. As you know, this is the week of our Festival Latino, which will be on Saturday, September 24th at the Cesar Huerta Chavez Center for Education. There will be a parade representing all of Latin America. There will be Latin food from different types of the Latin area. There will be a ton of activities, and we, as me and Myrna, are a part, and Maria Rangel, a part of Alante Latina, are here to invite you all to this Festival Latino. We hope to see you there. We hope for you guys to learn a few things about Latin America that are not known to many others. And as I am here, I am dressed in my attire of Guatemalan de Coban. Well, I think that's what my mom said. I don't remember very well. But this is my attire from Guatemala. So I wish everybody a happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you and have a good night.
Flora or Fiora Aguilar.
Hello, board members, Dr. Avila. Everybody, community, thank you. This is my first time being here. I'm a mother of 5, and I have adult children and minor children. Nonetheless, it wasn't my intent to want to come in these terms, but I need to speak on behalf of my child. Too often, too many children in Rialto District are victims of bullying, harassment, assault in a variety of different ways. And as often as it has been spoken here by yourself, that the safety is the #1 priority here at this district and not communication. But the reality is that communication is the leading key that goes hand in hand with safety as a whole. And I know this as personal experience because my son, who attends Fitzgerald, who had Mrs. Todd as his teacher, was bullied, harassed, and assaulted for weeks. And unfortunately, Mrs. Todd failed to address the matter as described in your policies of 2003 for bullying policies and 1999 harassment policies. She took matters on her own. She vacated her duties, and while one of 3 incidents that happened against my child, Ms. Todd didn't make sure that my son received medical attention. She didn't send the other child to the office. Even after that afternoon, when I asked her about Homer, she failed to tell me anything about what happened to my child that day. And while she failed to protect my child, she also failed to report the incident to the principal. The principal only became aware when I sent her an email. I met with Mr. G, the teacher, to understand what was going on. Unfortunately, Ms. Todd didn't say anything until I directed the question, why she didn't notify me about my son being hurt? And as I expressed why my child was afraid, she had acknowledged that my son was antsy around this boy. And as I had expressed that communication is a must and that she needs to communicate with me, especially if my child is hurt. Nevertheless, did I think that after this meeting, within the hour, my son was going to get assaulted by the same boy. This time, Mrs. Todd did send me a text message. Unfortunately, when I went to go pick up my son, she went ahead and proceeded to deminimize the circumstances far away from what she sent in her text. And at that time, I had told her, my son's not returning to your class. So I placed a request for a teacher change and for assistant deceased against the child. Unfortunately, this matter didn't end. My son got hit again the following week. The principal wasn't mindful about the situation. The children were placed together, and my son was hurt. He was hit in the heart. He fell on the floor. He came to the point of defending himself, and other children wanting to build a wall to defend and protect him. Unfortunately, this matter needs to be addressed by the board, and things need to be changed because whatever's happening at your schools, I'm afraid it's happening everywhere else.
Could you please give us your contact information here with our superintendent?
Yes, and I also want to know that I did speak to Chief O'Leary. he reached out to the principal to finally talk to me and meet with me. And I did follow my procedures that I've known that you guys have had, and unfortunately, the provisions and interventions weren't taking place.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm
we-
quite okay. I'm
we-
just here to notify you
No,
because
we appreciate it because we don't always get all of the information. But if you can leave us your contact info, we'll make sure to get more information from you, and so we can help you. We want to help you, but the speaker time is up,
Yeah,
and I
no,
have
that's
to be
fine.
fair with everyone.
Oh, no, it's okay.
If you could leave us your information, we'll make sure to get with you.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Celia Sarabia.
Sí. Hello.
My translation.
Oh, you use it?
Yeah.
First time.
Ready.
It's good.
Buenas noches, miembros de la mesa directiva.
Good evening, members of the board.
Presidente Mr. Montes,
President Mr. Montes,
Vicepresidenta Miss Luis,
Vice President Ms. Lewis,
Superintendente Dr. Ávila,
Superintendent Dr. Avila,
audiencia.
and audience.
Soy Celia Sarabia,
I am Celia Sarabia,
represento al grupo de apoyo de padres de niños con necesidades especiales.
and I represent a support group for parents of children with special needs.
Los padres de educación especial
Special education parents,
le dimos la bienvenida a nuestra nueva directora, Miss Johnson.
welcome our new director, Ms. Johnson.
La semana pasada ella se presentó con los padres
Last week, she came before the parents,
y todos quedamos satisfechos con su presentación.
and we were all satisfied with her presentation.
Tenemos expectativas muy altas con ella
We have high expectations, very high expectations with her,
y pensamos que sí vamos a lograr mucho uniéndonos con ella.
and we think we'll achieve much uniting our forces with her.
Estamos esperando cambios
We're expecting changes
porque todavía tenemos algunos empleados
because we still have some employees
que piensan
that think
que la educación especial
that special education,
es un favor que le hacen a nuestros hijos,
that they're doing a favor to our children with special education.
pero no es un favor,
But it's not a favor.
es un derecho que nuestros hijos tienen.
It's a right that our children have.
También algunos se sienten ofendidos
Some also feel offended
cuando les pedimos que hagan su trabajo
when we ask them to do their job,
y se atreven a quejarse de los padres
and they dare complain against the parents
cuando son ellos los que están fallando.
when they are the ones failing.
No podemos tener empleados con esas actitudes.
We can't have employees that show those attitudes.
Ellos están al servicio de nuestros estudiantes.
They are here to serve our students.
Ellos eligieron ese trabajo.
They chose that job.
Nosotros los papás, Dios no nos dio opción.
We, the parents,
Nos
God
dio a
didn't give
nuestros
us,
hijos.
God didn't give us an option.
A mí me dio un hijo autista,
He gave us those children.
a Bellita
He gave me
síndrome
an
de parálisis
autistic
cerebral,
child,
a otros papás con Down
cerebral
syndrome.
palsy, and other parents with different syndromes, different issues.
No tuvimos opción.
We didn't have an option.
Los padres de educación especial,
Special education parents,
en los IP de nuestros hijos,
doing the IEPs for our children,
solamente pedimos los servicios y recursos que nuestros hijos necesitan.
we simply ask for the services and the resources that our children need
Para tener éxito.
so that they can be successful.
Nosotros somos la voz de nuestros hijos
We are the voice of our children,
y lamentamos que algunos empleados
and unfortunately, we lament that some employees
se lo tomen personal.
take these matters personally.
Nosotros les decimos,
We tell them,
lean,
read,
instrúyanse,
teach yourselves,
conozcan las leyes,
know the laws,
los derechos y responsabilidades que tenemos,
the rights and responsibilities that we have,
para que no se ofendan cuando les pedimos
so that you're not offended when we come to you and ask
que sean profesionales,
that you be professional,
con conocimientos en el área que están trabajando.
that you hold knowledge of the area in which you're working.
La ignorancia, la falta de conocimiento
Ignorance and lack of knowledge.
hace sentir fuera de lugar
Continue.
y como no pueden luchar contra el conocimiento, se enojan.
Makes you feel out of place, and because you can't fight against knowledge, then you become angry.
Nosotros sabemos que todos vamos aprendiendo en el camino,
We all know that we learn along the way,
pero depende del empeño y las ganas que le pongamos
But it all depends on how much commitment and desire you invest
a todo lo que hacemos.
in all that we do.
Eso es lo que marca la diferencia.
That's what makes a difference.
Seamos positivos,
Let's be positive.
no nos ofendamos,
Let's not feel offended.
usemos las sugerencias para mejorar.
Let's use those suggestions so that we can improve ourselves.
Como dice don Miguel Ruiz en su libro Los Cuatro Acuerdos,
As Don Miguel Ruiz states in his book of The Four Agreements,
nada personal.
nothing personal.
Los padres de educación especial
We, the special education parents,
pedimos respeto,
ask that we be respected.
buscamos la excelencia para nuestro distrito
We search for excellence for our district.
y también queremos mencionar que nos sentimos muy orgullosos
And we also want to mention that we feel very proud
de muchos maestros, directores,
of many
administradores,
teachers, principals, administrators,
empleados
employees
que no dan el 100%, dan
That-
el 200%
that don't give 100%, they give 200%
para que nuestros estudiantes logren sus metas.
so that our students achieve their goals.
Tenemos que sentirnos orgullosos de lo que hacemos.
We have to be proud of what we do.
Nosotros, los padres de educación especial,
We, the special education parents,
no venimos a pelear
are not here to fight
ni a jugar con el trabajo de nadie.
or to play with anybody's job.
Venimos a unir esfuerzos
We come to join forces
por el bien de nuestros hijos y de nuestra comunidad.
for the well-being of our children and our community.
Estamos orgullosos de nuestro board, de todo lo que han logrado.
We're very proud of our board, of
Eh,
everything they've achieved.
Felicitamos a Mr. Derek Harris,
We
es un orgullo
congratulate-
para nosotros también,
We congratulate
lo
Mr.
apoyamos.
Derek Harris. He's-
Todo el trabajo que hacen nuestro superintendente, ustedes como board,
He's a
nuestros
source of pride for
estudiantes,
us.
estamos orgullosos.
All the work that
Doctora
you do,
Chávez,
our superintendent,
Miss
the
Diane
board.
Romo, la doctora Gibb, Ronda, de todos estamos orgullosos.
We feel very
Esto-
proud of all of you.
Esto no refleja lo que es nuestro distrito,
This doesn't really reflect
pero
what our district is.
tenemos que mencionarlo porque necesitamos que hayan cambios.
But we must say it because we need for there to be a change.
Y por último quiero citar unas frases de Dr. Martin Luther King
Lastly, I want to quote a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King
que me llenan y me hacen sentir que soy una mejor persona.
that make me feel like I'm a better person.
La pregunta más urgente y persistente en la vida es, ¿qué estás haciendo por los demás?
The most urgent and persistent question in life is, what are you doing for others?
Pero lo más importante, cita que todo el tiempo pienso, cuando alguien va a hacer algo, tiene que tener pasión. Porque
But the
mi
most-
abuela decía,
But the most important quote that I always think about when someone's doing something that they must show passion for that something, as my grandmother used to say,
mi abuela decía que si te quejas de lo que estás haciendo,
that if you're complaining about what you're doing,
ese no es el camino que debes de seguir.
That
Y
that's
tienes
not
que darle
the
la
way.
oportunidad
Excuse
a alguien
me.
que quiere
Excuse
seguirlo.
me.
disculpe.
Disculpe, Celia, ya se acabó el doble tiempo.
Bueno,
Le
muchas
pido
gracias.
disculpas.
No, está bien. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Buenas noches.
Gracias.
That is all we have for items not on the agenda.
Gracias, Celia. Gracias por compartir sus preocupaciones. Gracias. Gracias. Les pido mil disculpas a los padres. Es que el board ya tiene tiempo poniendo un límite de 3 minutos a cualquier persona, sea de distrito o de la comunidad, y permitimos doble tiempo para las personas que ocupan traducción. Y les pidamos mil disculpas por parte del board, que no es nuestra intención ser rude, how do you say? ¿Cómo se dice rude?
Descortés. Descortés.
No, no es nuestra intención descortés, pero tenemos que ser parejos con todos. Espero que entiendan.
Nosotros respetamos el derecho de todos.
Thank you.
Que nos
Did
tratemos
you-
igualdad, es lo que venimos a pedir.
Gracias. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
want me to interpret that? Or?
Yeah, go ahead and interpret what I said.
Absolutely. We apologize to the public. We apologize to Ms. Sarabia, but we, the board, for some time now, have been imposing a 3-minute limit on all speakers. We have doubled that time for those who need an interpreter, and the time has run out. And that's in a nutshell, pretty much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, next we go to C2, public comments on agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We do not have any.
Okay. Next we go to item C3, comments from our student board member.
No picture?
Sí,
Do we
cómo
deserve
no.
a picture,
Sí, cómo no.
Mr. Montes? Are we not the
The
same?
special education parents would like to take a picture with the
Sí.
board.
Is
if
that
that's
all
okay.
of them, or is this a particular group?
That's the main group.
Well, you
That's
have
all.
other.
Yeah. No, that's all. Yo tomo una foto con ustedes si quieren.
No, don't. Don't worry, but if you claim that we're all the same, then where's the picture? We just wanted to show you that equality. So
Okay.
where's the congruence?
Yo me tomo una foto con ustedes si quieren.
I'll take a
Si no
picture with
quieren
you guys
fotos,
if you
no hay
want.
problema.
If you don't want to, then that's okay as well. Is it just going to be you for the picture?
Les pido mil
For
disculpas.
everyone.
Tengo que seguir con la junta. Discúlpenme.
I again
Discúlpenme.
apologize. I must continue with the board meeting.
Okay. Item C2, any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any, Dr. Avila?
We do not.
All right. Item C3, comments from student board member.
All right. Firstly, I want to apologize for all those who are going through issues right now, including bullying, including issues in the SPED community. We really hear your needs and we hear your issues, and we hope to soon fix that and come to a conclusion that can benefit all. And then I also like part of the Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm very glad that it's being represented in the community in our Latino festival, and I can't wait to attend.
Thank you, Stephen. And I will transition with my comments just quickly. Congratulations once again to Mr. Derek Harris. Such a well-deserved recognition. He goes above and beyond day in and day out to make sure that we're compliant, that we're safe, and that we stay as far away from litigation as possible. Thank you, Derek. The Nutrition Services staff, amazing presentation. We are well aware of all the amazing work that you do day in and day out, and we know that you do it from the bottom of your heart. Thank you for that. Tomorrow we will have, as mentioned 2 weeks ago, the UCAN Historically Black Colleges Universities HBCU Recruitment Fair taking place from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Ontario Convention Center. And later in the evening we have the Regional College Fair, College and Career Fair taking place from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm excited and look forward to seeing many of you there. And I too, as Stephen, am looking forward to celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month this Saturday with the festival being put on by Alianza Latina. Very excited to be a part, to be invited. I know I won't be there the entire time because I do have a prior speaking commitment later that morning, but I do plan to stop by and share in the festivities to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Putting on the Ritz is no longer, but it has grown into the Ritz. The Ritz now will be Rialto's Incredible Talent Zone, and it will take place on February the 11th, 2023. I am very excited and can't wait to see the amazing talent that our students are going to put on for our community. And lastly, I feel a little awkward saying this. It says September the 21st is International Day of Peace, World Gratitude Day, and overall self-care. So be good to yourselves. And I feel a little awkward mentioning Day of Peace, World Day, Gratitude Day, and all overall self-care month. I think that should take place every day. And so please do take care of yourself every day, not just on this particular day. And that's all I have, President Montes.
Thank you. Next, we go to item C5, comments from members of the Board of Education, and we will begin with our very own board clerk, Ms. Nancy O'Kelly.
Well, I just want to congratulate Derek Harris again, very deserving of the key to the district, and I was very proud to honor him with it. So, hope it's a key to something great. I also want to thank Nutrition Services for always the outstanding job they do and to highlight the things they are doing and have done for our district and our kids. It's such a comfort to know, our kids aren't sitting in class starving because they get breakfast and lunch. I know as a teacher, I used to buy treats and carry them into my room, and because I knew some kids were just too hungry to pay attention, and they had to have something. So what we do here is a blessing, and it's the best thing for kids. So thank you, Fawcett, and to your entire team. You do an outstanding job. And I want to thank Michelle Sanchez for updating us on the last bond. That was a great presentation. We did so much with that bond money. So I'm looking forward to this next bond because we still have, this is a very old district. We have a lot of things to modernize and bring up to speed. So that new bond, if it passes, will greatly help us. And that's it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. This is also a very old boardroom, as you can tell by the brick walls. That's okay. We like rustic. Next, we'll go to our very own Vice President, Mrs. Stephanie Lewis.
Well, celebration for Hispanic heritage. I am representing Panama and Cuba
All right.
today. And I had my little translation earphones. But it brought me back to the Divergent games that we had in the Stadium of Carter. And when I looked at all those parents, we have a lot, and there's no one group. And as we focus on including all parents and all caregivers, there's not one group that represents anyone because all parents make up their families. And so there's a lot of parents and grandparents and caregivers and facilities that we're intentionally reaching out to hear their voice. So it wasn't that we did not want to take a group with that particular group, because that's one group, but we have a lot of parents and caregivers and facilities that if you say they represent all, they don't. They represent a particular, and they do it very well, and we appreciate that. But we're trying to get and hear the voice from everyone. And the school bullying, the parent, and the communication, we're working. Dr. Avila and his staff are just really trying to go through a more effective way to get a policy, but not just a policy. We don't want a piece of paper. They're really putting in the research to do something to implement, to have those hotlines and calls, and it's a multi-faceted. So it's coming because they know that we need improvement, but that's not reaching the person who is actively hurt. And I'm sure, I thank you, parent, and thank you for the previous parent. And I'm glad the parents are coming to the board because this is serious, and it can really hurt a person and scar them, and it takes a lot to recover from those incidents. So I appreciate you speaking up. And do we have a hotline number that they do call, and how that?
We do have an info email, and we do have numbers.
Yeah, so these hotline numbers are really helpful, especially for little kids. They have a phone somewhere that they can text their parent or text the hotline and text directly. So they're working on getting these systems because you just don't want a number to lead to nowhere. So they're really reviewing that policy, and I'm just want to support all this Saturday, the event, this Thursday, the You Can Saturday. I'm just so excited that the PTA is really taking a lead. I mean, to have the PTA take the lead to do the festival because the PTA represent another larger group of family. So we're getting all these committees in to hear their voice and to really put on different types of program. I went to the DPAC meeting, and that was exciting. And so we're popping into all these various groups, but we haven't reached the foster parents. And that's something, our goal, to really get these group home and foster parents to hear their voice. And so we just thank for all these intentional, the others, the invisible caregiver. These kids are not just by themselves, they have a linkage. So we're working hard to hear their voice.
Thank you. Next, we go to Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, President Montez. It's that time of year where I try to impress on parents that it's time to make sure that your emergency contact information for each of your students at each of the school sites that you have students at, they need to be updated. One of the issues is that when you have a family emergency and you need aunt or uncle to pick, or grandma or whomever, a friend, to pick your student up and they're not on the emergency card, that is a real legal issue for schools. Sometimes there's family issues where mom and dad are in turmoil and it's tearing the family apart. And legally, only one of them has educational rights. So in instances like that, we can get in dire trouble. So it's very important for you to update your emergency contact forms so that the name of the adults that you want to pick up your student, that they are updated on the list to the most current. So whatever circumstance changes in your family, please update that so it's easy for us to support you in the time of need instead of, I don't want to be a deterrent or a speed bump in the road when you need help. But we need to know these things legally. So if you want an adult other than yourself to pick up your student, you need to authorize them by name on each of the emergency cards, one per student, one per site. And trying to remember to update these as changes occur. We have an instance where we could save some money. Tonight, President Montez mentioned that he was made aware that board elections do not need to go through the election, the standard election procedure. It takes 2 candidates to do that. And here's the quandary that the board is in. We could save maybe $70,000, could be more, could be less, on having an election. Or the board could just say, let's go ahead and pull that and save that money. It's not my place, and it's not the time to declare anybody or name anybody, as much as I'd love to. But we could save some money, but here's the quandary. If we do it without notifying the public, then you're hiding something. There's something going on. You should have, had the election and spent $70,000 or so. Then there's the other side who's going to say, well, they had a chance to save $70,000, but they didn't. They're not on the ball. So we're stuck in the middle. If you have comment, feel free to use the info at rialtousd.org. And that's basically a catch-all email that is watched and monitored. And that's info at rialtousd.org. And give us your opinion. We really need to hear from you. Do we save an election, save $70,000, or do we leave it there just so it looks right? I don't know. Personally, if it was me at home, I'd save $70,000, but I'd catch the flack. So we're trying to avoid the
Dr. Avila
flack.
can look into it, report back to the board on that matter. There's
All right.
what the options are for the board.
Yes.
What
And
the,
if
what the
there's a-
actual savings, if any.
And if there's a timeline to it. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Last but not least, I just want to also invite everyone to the Festival Latino for the first annual this September 24 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Chavez Huerta Center for Education, located at 324 North Palm Avenue, Rialto, California, 92376. And I want to personally thank Alianza Latina for hosting this event. I know it's a partnership with various groups and organizations and members of the community and people in the district, but special shout out and thanks to Alianza Latina for hosting this. And and we have two members here. Mr. Martinez, would you like to recognize them?
Yes. Please stand up, both of you. Okay, Myrna Ruiz and Evelyn Dominguez. So,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for all your hard work in putting this together.
We'll try our best. We'll try our best. Thank you. Thank you. And I just wanted to just touch on a couple things regarding school safety, regarding bullying. You know, we want safety for everyone. We want safety for our employees. We want safety for our parents. We want safety for our students. You know, and everyone that comes in contact with our facilities, our the buildings, the school district, schools, service centers. We can only try to do as much as we can within our capacity, right? Regarding the school district, and we have an awesome safety and security department who does an awesome job going above and beyond, securing our schools, assisting our community, protecting our students, and our staff members. But I just want to emphasize that we want everyone to do as best as they can in regards to diverting bullying, reducing as much as possible bullying. I know we can't always see what the kids are telling each other or doing to each other, but whenever possible, we want to intervene. We want to de-escalate and really help. Because one of the things that we've seen from a lot of the tragedies that have happened at other districts, including a neighboring district in Riverside County, a lot of the tragedies happen due to bullying, because of bullying, and I think in the higher grade levels, the middle school, high school, bullying is more of a social media thing, probably a little bit more than, physically. And then in the lower level, grades, elementary, you got a lot of the hitting, going on. But regardless of whether it's physical, mental, any type of abuse from one person to another, we all have an obligation to try to help somebody that's being a victim of bullying. We all have an obligation to stand up for someone, to try to do what we can, right, to help them, to report it, and communication is a big part of letting people know, reporting stuff, whether it's reporting it to the parents, to the school administration, reporting it to the teacher, reporting it to, the district office. People need to come forward and people need to report as much as possible, because the last thing we want is for a tragedy to happen and then people to say, look, we told this person and that person did nothing, and we definitely want to do our part with that, right? So I look forward to our district evolving our bullying policies, expanding our bullying policies, and implementing these policies, because nobody knows what it's like unless it's your child, you know, that's being hurt, right? Regarding our employees here in the district, I just want to, and regarding some comments that were shared, I just want to say that we truly value each and every one of our employees, and we hope that all of the people involved can do as best as possible in their capacity to make sure that we move forward and we continue to do the best for all of our employees. So with that, that's all I have for today. Let's get the show on the road. Item E, consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by the Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Second. Do we have any pulls?
Yes.
Okay. What item?
The very first one, E.2.1.
And this will be a pull for comment, not pull to pull from the agenda altogether.
Correct. We are moving ahead with it, but it's mostly for comment.
Okay. Then if it's okay, we'll go ahead and start with E 2.1. It's to approve the use of 2018 edition of Positive Prevention Plus curriculum for 7th and 9th grade students, effective September 21st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, at no cost to the district. And that's regarding Positive Prevention Plus curriculum. Do we have any questions or comments?
I do.
Okay.
May I?
Yes.
Okay. California Ed Code requires schools to teach sex ed. That's what this is. PositivePreventionPlus.com, PositivePreventionPlus.com, all one word. Okay, the curriculum includes teaching alt gender and alt lifestyles. These mandates contradict biblical principles and contribute to the erosion of traditional family values. But in particular, I'm bringing this up, excuse me, because parents want to know things like this. If I hear complaints about sex ed or anything in schools, it's that we didn't know and we wanted to do something about it. Well, parents, you can do something about it. You have to use an opt-out form. It is available, and I will let Dr. Avila give that to us or put it on the website if possible. Parents do have to opt out. That is available to them. I love all our kids. One day, it's a story that touched my heart. A student from Myler, I'm involved with Kiwanis Student of the Month, so it was a Student of the Month Awards program before COVID hit. And I was being introduced to the students, and I was totally caught off guard because I reached over and shook the hand. I looked up, and it was a gentleman with makeup, and I didn't know how to respond. The response I wanted to do, man, that's great makeup, but it caught me off guard. So, all these kids are great. They're going to change the world in the way they believe. They're like everyone else. We're just looking for answers. So that's it. Parents, if you want to opt out of sex ed classes because they teach alternative lifestyles, then you have to act on it. Mr. President.
I have a comment. And just in the vein of the others, there's a large percent of kids who are in foster, and when you're a foster parent, you cannot teach them how to clean themselves. You cannot teach them their private part. You are a foster parents. And these kids grow up not knowing the basics of life. And until they come into a school's health class, that's what they're learning, the correct name of their body parts. So when we talk about parents, you're talking about the fortunate few. We are a public school. We have kids from all environment. And when you're in a regulated group home, they will not touch. They do not want to because the environment that placed them there. And so that's their only opportunity to learn about their hygiene, to learn about that in a informative, safe. And anyone can open up these curriculums and take a look. They've been approved. But when you don't have that education, they only have one choice is when they get hospitalized or someone telling them street terminology. So when the teachers and whoever, they have a curriculum that they have been certified and approved to teach, that's the only source for a lot of kids during the time. And maybe they went back to their home, but during a period, a person can go through grandparents or someone else, and they're not allowed to learn that.
Thank you for pointing that out. I was ignorant.
Any other questions or comments? All right, with that, we have a motion to, did we get a motion to, yeah, we do. We have a motion and a second. Do we have a preferential vote by student board member Steven Gaitan? Would you like to say either yay, nay, or abstain for this approval of the consent calendar items? Or
Yay.
did you have a comment or question?
No. Yay.
Okay. Ms. Walker's absent. Mr. Martinez?
I have to vote no.
Okay. Mrs. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye. All right, the time is 8:50.
President Montes, just for clarification, was that vote only on item 2.1 or the entire consent calendar?
No, it was for the entire consent calendar. Since we had a motion in the second, we had a discussion, and I guess there was just a comment on item 2.1. But for clarification, the vote was for the entire consent calendar item. Okay.
And
One
Mr.
more thing.
Martinez, is that what you wanted?
Oh,
just to
did you
take
want to vote
action
no
only
on this item specifically, or on the
I
entire
wanted
consent
no
calendar?
on that specific item.
Correct.
Other than that, it is yes on everything else.
Oh, okay, then,
That's why I pulled it.
oh, okay. Then,
Amend the motion.
no, what we'll do is, do we have a first and a second on item E 2.1 by itself?
No, it was for the
Okay.
entire.
Can we get a motion on the,
So move.
Second?
okay. Preferential vote by student board member Steven Gaitan?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
No.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye. And that's E 2.1. Okay, and then we'll go back to a motion on the rest of the consent calendar items.
So move.
Second?
Okay, preferential vote by student board member?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye.
I
Thank
ne-
you for the clarification,
I-
Dr. Avila.
I need to go back, though. Dr. Avila, do we have a form available at schools for the parents to opt
The
out?
schools have them, and it's posted on our website as well, and they are to be turned into the child's homeschool.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because the form does not have a school site name on it. So if they pick it up somewhere or on the web and they turn it in, there's no way of knowing without going through the gyrations of looking the student up.
It's been revised.
Thank you.
All right. With the consent calendar out of the way, we go to items F, discussion action items. And we begin with F1, amendment number 1 to RFP number 18-19-003 for CNG maintenance and service with Natural Gas Systems, Inc., NGS. And it's for the certified natural gas station maintenance services and repairs effective September 22nd, 2022 through June 30th, 2023 at a cost not to exceed $96,000 and to be paid from the general fund. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay. And I just want to thank everyone that was involved with this natural gas station, certified natural gas station. For people who have, I know like a lot of city and school district, our school district buses, a lot of them are certified natural gas. I think the majority of them, some do have some electric ones. And a lot of cities and counties have vehicles that are certified natural gas. With the price of diesel right now, I'm sure they're all just jumping for joy and what they're saving. And for people who have certified natural gas vehicles, they can fill up at our station there. It's open to the public. But does anybody know off the top of their head what the price per gallon is right now on certified natural gas? All right, we don't have any real nerds in here then.
I have asked staff to prepare a report, an update for the board to see where we are on leveling off the money, the amount that we invested versus the turnaround to start making profit. We're probably some years out, but I do want to know where we are at this point in time.
Now, I know the certified natural gas is available for the public to purchase there.
Yes.
Is the electricity also, is the charging station also available for
No.
charging up?
No.
Darn.
Have we ever had a problem charging the buses, the electrical buses?
No.
Let us know if you do.
Well, maybe the district, as more and more people are purchasing electric cars, maybe the district consider selling some of that electricity that's generated with all the solar panels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Any other questions or comments? All right, Mr. Martinez, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Next, we go to agreement with Seesaw. It's to approve a renewal agreement for schools to Seesaw for schools to all elementary schools effective December 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $91,200 and to be paid from the general fund. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Any questions or comments? All right, Mr. Martinez, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Next, we go to F3, administrative hearing. Case numbers 22-23-3 and 22-23-2. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Vote by Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Next, we go to F4, stipulated expulsion. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And that's for case number 22-23-6. Mr. Martinez, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye. F5, reinstatement of expulsion. Case number 2122-60. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Martinez, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Next is adjournment. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on October 5th, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the Dr. John Castellanos Education Center, 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meeting are available upon request from the superintendent's office. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Preferential vote by student board member Stephen Gaitan.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Time is 8:57.
Mr.